Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Car Extra Racing 2 with BrogAutohaus. Today we are focusing on the Thunderstrike. So if you're here for the tuning aspect solely, that will be about the last 7 minutes or so of the video today. So you can click ahead to that if you want to watch just the tuning and see what I've done there to make this car drift the way that it does. I'll also be explaining the body kits and everything like that. But this car is a different one. You know, it performs a lot differently. It needs a different tune than most of the other cars in the game. As you can see on the screen here, I thought it'd be fun to do like an American muscle face-off basically between that Firebird and the Dodge Charger. I mean, I know they're not specifically those cars, but they're meant to look like those cars, kind of like the GTA. It's a car that you know, but it's slightly changed so that they don't have to worry about branding. But nonetheless, you know, this thing's fun. It's a 4-speed transmission, which is really different to get used to when you're used to pretty much every other car in the game that has at least 5 gears, if not 6 in a lot of cases. And as you can see, I got mad at the developers for this one. I was getting out a deep line, hitting the wall just a little bit. I thought it would save me. And then there's one concrete piece that's sticking out just a little bit further, and it just freaking grabbed my bumper and shot me off the wall. It's not actually the developer's fault. I just sent it in a little too hard, I think, but usually I expect to be able to kind of drag the bumper around those corners and make it work. But, you know, this car is probably not going to be the best competition-winning vehicle unless you have an engine swap for it. I think this thing is really great, but it's just not quite fast enough, and I can't figure out with the 4-speed transmission how to make it better, how to make it hop off the line faster, how to make it quicker in drift. I'm kind of struggling with this one tune-wise, and I don't know if you guys have as well, or if you have a great tune that you just really like on it. I'd be curious to know kind of what you have your settings at, because this thing it's really smooth. It does big, nice sweeping lines. It's a fun car to drive, but it's just not quick enough, I don't think. Not snappy enough. It's lazy coming in and out of corners, and lazy coming on throttle. It's not super high powered. So let me know, you guys, if you have a better tune for this car and you really love using it. Leave a comment below. I haven't been able to get really into this one. Alrighty guys, well, we'll jump into the tuning and body kit aspect of the Thunderstrike. This one has given me some challenges in the tuning aspects, but we'll start off with the body kits here. I do have the Missile body kit, which adds these, I'm going to call them plastic fender flares, but nonetheless, really cool. This is the stock body, and then you can see the Missile is kind of slammed down, a little front lip, side skirt, and then a diffuser in the rear. CBW is also a cool looking kit. It looks more like a drag kit than a drift kit, but it's hardly different than bone stock. And then you have R&T, which is kind of like the old classic Charger Daytona, I believe is what it's called, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. And what are those wheels? I mean, for crying out loud, who wants those on their car? Nobody. Thank you very much. All right, we are not going to spend 50 gold on that because that's ridiculous. Also, I know that the prices have been going up on these, on everything in this game, as far as how much it's going to cost gold and money-wise to get things, which is pretty frustrating. You know, I kind of thought that with the new update they were going to reduce some stuff, but they really didn't. So, upgrades, we have this thing up to Pro Drift 3. As always, you can find my tune in the tuning workshop under BrogAutohaus. It'll be posted today. If you're watching this video later in the future and it's not up on the tuning workshop, just drop a comment below and let me know that you're looking for the tune. I'll get it posted for you and let you know when I have that back up so you can go grab it. But we'll jump into the settings tab here. And for today's example, which I like that we can pick the map now, we are going to go to Pacific Hills. Not that it matters too much. We're going to go through all the tuning aspects and kind of why I tuned certain things the way they were. This transmission gave me some trouble, but it turned out pretty well, I feel like. So up front, we have 8 centimeters of spring size, 104 Newton meters of stiffness, 120 on the sway bar, 0.03 of toe, negative 5.1 degrees of camber in the front, and 9.1 caster with 74% Ackerman angle. I've talked about those two a lot. They are a big part of how your car handles on the track, and whether it's a big sweeping corner type tune or a tight, commie road, nimble car type tune, those will change a little bit. You're going to want, some lower Ackerman for the tighter corners and higher Ackerman for the bigger sweeping turns. So just some information there for you guys to think about. If you feel like you want to adjust the tune here after you use mine, obviously that's always encouraged if there's certain things that work better for you. We'll jump to the rear suspension here. The rebounds, bumps are all pretty consistent. -1 on the rear camber, 0.01 of toe, which is basically nothing. Kind of mid-level on the sway bar and stiffness, and then 7.9 centimeters of height. We're running 19 by 255 35s in the front with a 19 285 35 in the rear. So just another 30 millimeters of width in the rear. I'm sorry, we're running a 20-inch wheel in the rear, not a 19. I kind of forgot that I did that, but I needed... it just seemed like it worked out best with the way that the tune was with the 4-speed transmission. Having that extra inch of wheel diameter helps get you some more speed and kind of grips on the side corners a little bit better than a 19 would. So the engine-wise, we have the turbo maxed out, RPM maxed out, but the rev limiter we have down to 7650, and that's because if you look when I increase it, the power only goes down. And although maybe it would help me to have a little bit more RPM, I was pretty satisfied with where it was at in that 7650 range. So you can see where the dots are on the graph is the peak power on the green line and peak torque on the blue line. So that's where everything's peaking out, which on this car, the peak torque is kind of at somewhere around 4,000 RPM or so, and the peak power isn't until about 6,500 to 7,000-ish. So anyways, just something to think about. In the transmission, we have the differential at a 0.51 with an overall gear ratio of 4.00. Now this one's tough because pretty much every other car in the game is at least a 5-speed, if not a 6-speed gearbox, whereas this is a 4. So I had to adjust some tuning stuff because there's not those extra gears that you might need for certain situations. But I have my third and fourth gear are kind of the main drive gears. I have the third at 1.4 and fourth at 1.25. And then obviously the gear shifting delay, you want all that all the way down as far as possible. Braking momentum shared to the front axis, 76%. And then general, we have no rear axis width. It's kind of the same. Front, I brought out 5 centimeters. I would have brought it out further for fitment, but I didn't like how it performed when I really poked that wheel out. So went back to 5 on that. And then 24% mass height all the way down on that stuff. So we'll hop out here, do a couple quick rips, and see what you guys think of the tune here. It's kind of I don't know how to describe this car. I want to call it lazy. It doesn't seem like it wants to, move quickly or accelerate quickly or really do anything very fast. Everything's kind of slow and flowy, which can be great, but there's just times when it's not. And as you can see, I am completely failing at my driving right now while I'm talking to you. Multitasking is not my strongest suit. So anyways, that's going to do it for the video today, guys. I appreciate you as always. Drop a like or a comment. If you want to see a tune for a certain car, leave a comment below. I'm always happy to add that to my list and make a video about it in the next, week or so, depending on what I've got kind of on the lineup for videos. And in the link description below, you'll see the link to my Discord channel. Join that if you want to chat some CarX stuff. We do online lobbies from there and some other random stuff. It's been nice that some members have joined that also have premium, so they can host lobbies, post their numbers, and you guys can all play together, which I think is really fun. We're kind of building a little CarX community here, so I really appreciate it. And other than that, you can submit your top 5 drift clips to BrogAutohaus@gmail.com. That's in the description below as well. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Put your life in drive. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.